Welcome to Community Mindfulness Project's Mindfulness Care for the Resilient Caregiver. My name is Erika Long. I'm one of the founders of Community Mindfulness Project and your host for this series. You can check out our website at communitymindfulnessproject.org for guided meditations, book recommendations, our weekly meditation blog, and other resources. This series is made possible by technical support from Grace Farms Foundation. Grace Farms Foundation aspires to advance good in the world through initiatives in the areas of nature, arts, justice, community, and faith. You can learn more about Grace Farms' work at gracefarms.org. It remains our privilege to offer this session to all of you who dedicate your days to safeguarding and improving the well-being of others. We want to thank you for the work that you do. So let's talk a little bit about mindfulness. It's sustained, voluntary attention in the present moment with curiosity and kindness. It's also not shutting out thoughts. It's being aware of them when they arise and choosing whether or not we'll engage with them. The mind is like a puppy that we're trying to train to sit still when we ask it to. We train the mind to sit still with that same kindness, patience, and persistence that we would use with a puppy. And with practice, the mind will settle and will have more wisdom, clarity, and space for creativity. In this session, we'll talk about what meditation is compared to mindfulness. We'll explain why it's important to bring attention to the joys, large and small, in life. And we'll do a gratitude meditation together. So what is meditation? Meditation refers to a mental practice that allows us to develop healthy habits of mind and heart. Mindfulness practices are one form of meditation. They help us to have a more focused, stable mind so that we can have better clarity, more space for creativity, and a more regulated nervous system. In addition to mindfulness practices, there are meditation practices that help us feel connected and supported. Research shows that when we use both mind-focusing practices and interpersonal meditation practices, the benefits are even better than when we do just the mind-focusing practices. So gratitude practice is a meditation practice where we bring attention to the events, the people, and the experiences in our life that meet our needs or bring us joy. So why do we do this? The gratitude practice serves as a counterbalance to our negativity bias. It expands our sphere of attention to include the positives. It's really cool to understand that our brains have a huge number of neurons and that the neurons consume a ton of energy, and that the brain has evolved to try to conserve energy. As a result, the human brain pays less attention to things it knows are not a threat than to things that it thinks might be a threat. And this is referred to as the negativity bias. We're more aware of and more easily remember negative stuff than positive stuff. The constant awareness of possible threat and the relative blindness to good stuff can be exhausting on the nervous system and lead to a skewed view of the world. Gratitude practice helps us even this out. It helps us cultivate a sense of resilience, and it's an antidote to feelings of sadness, anxiety, or hopelessness that may arise in the course of daily life. It also allows us to appreciate the subtle or the simple things in life. When we engage in a gratitude practice, we're cultivating a sense of my needs are met, which means we can relax a bit, we can see the world a bit differently, and we're better able to help others have their needs met. So how do we practice a gratitude meditation? Simply noticing when something good has happened, or when a tool has been particularly helpful, or a beautiful moment in nature, and resting in that sense of gratitude is a practice in and of itself. For example, you might take a look around you right now and realize all the ways your needs are being met. You might feel grateful for the device you're using to access this series, or the chair that you're sitting on, or the roof over your head. You can focus on just one of these items and allow a sense of gratitude to grow. Allowing it maybe to infuse every cell of your body. And maybe even having a sense of resting into that sense of gratitude or wrapping it around you. Dr. Rick Hanson, a psychologist who studies the effects of gratitude on our brains and bodies, wrote a short, really helpful book called Hardwiring Happiness, in which he recommends pausing several times a day for 60 to 90 seconds to soak in a sense of gratitude for something, anything. You can also do a gratitude practice by using the alphabet, and this is great for sleep or for rebalancing daily life. In this practice, you start with the letter A, and you bring to mind something that you're grateful for that starts with the letter A. And you really sink into that feeling of gratitude, noticing what it feels like in the body, pausing with it for a while. And then you move on to something that starts with the letter B. It's a great practice to do if you have a hard time falling asleep or falling back asleep if you've woken up in the middle of the night. And in this session, we're going to do a practice called the 10-finger gratitude practice. So let's practice together. I'm inviting you now to come to stillness for a moment. Maybe noticing how it is that you're sitting right now and adjusting in any way so that you can feel balanced and supported. Collecting your attention in the present moment, maybe tuning in to the sounds around you. You may wish to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Whatever works for you. And now gently closing both of your hands and allowing the thumb on the left hand to stick out like you're hitchhiking or counting the number 1 on that hand. So bring to mind something for which you're grateful, an object, an experience, a pet or person or concept, whatever comes first to mind. Now allowing for a sense of gratitude for that to spread through the body. Noticing where you feel it. Seeing if you can allow it to soak into every cell in the body. And maybe at the same time, maybe having a sense of resting into this gratitude or wrapping it around you like a warm blanket. And now moving on to the second finger and bringing something else to mind for which you're grateful. Pausing in recognition of whatever you brought to mind and allowing the sense of gratitude to be felt in the body if it's there. And continuing through all of the fingers on the hands at your own pace. And you don't need to use fingers if you don't want. You can use anything that will help you count to 10. Pausing with each object that you bring to mind and resting with it, not merely checking it off and moving on. We're moving this practice down into the body and out of the mind. And if the mind wants to take over and run around, remembering that kindness and gentleness, like we use when we're training a puppy to sit and stay where we want it to stay, and gently bringing the mind back to resting in a felt sense of gratitude, if it's there, for something that you've brought to mind. Moving from one finger to the next and pausing deliberately with each item to rest in acknowledgement of the joy that it brings to you. And each time we realize that the mind has wandered off somewhere else, we can bring a gentle smile to our face and maybe even say, "Not now, mind," and come back to the sense of gratitude for some of the things and aspects of our life that benefit us. And now, broadening your attention, opening the eyes if they've been closed if you'd like to. Maybe taking in your surroundings with new appreciation for the many ways that your needs are met. Maybe making some gentle movements and having a sense of gratitude for the ability to move. In this way, bringing the meditation into the rest of your day. So when is a good time to practice gratitude meditation? This is a great practice to do when you crawl into bed at the end of the day, reflecting back on aspects of the day for which you're grateful, the kindness or skill of a coworker, something yummy or fortifying that you ate, the color of the sky. This is also A great time at the end of the day to do that ABC gratitude that we talked about, where you move through the alphabet, bringing something to mind, beginning with each letter of the alphabet. You may find that you don't make it all the way through the alphabet before you're resting peacefully. Gratitude is also great to practice in the morning when you wake, or with the first cup of coffee or tea. It's fun to start the day with coffee meditation, bringing full attention to the feeling of the cup in your hands, the aroma, the flavor, if that's part of your morning ritual. And when you notice yourself being very aware of negatives, especially after watching or reading the news, for example, tuning into one act of kindness, even if it's only a smile that you witnessed recently. You can also do this when you're taking a shower, having gratitude for running water, warm water, a safe space. And of course, when you're washing your hands, which we're doing a lot of these days. So in closing, wishing you well, thanking you for the noble work that you do. We hope that this has served somehow. There are versions of this gratitude practice and many others at Community Mindfulness Project.org, as well as lots of other resources. Until the next installment, take good care of yourself.